Hello everyone, welcome to the Next Gen Southeast Regional Qualifier coming to you from Huntsville, Alabama. We are Ace One Productions, I am Felix.
And I'm Conrad.
We have got MA1 coverage as well as a little bit of MA40 coverage from this event. We are at the University of Huntsville, Alabama campus disc golf course, and we are looking to see who's going to move on to the national finals in Austin, Texas.
Now this is so exciting because this is a regional qualifier. So anyone that does qualify in this event will get that invitation to Austin, Texas.
Yeah, and we're talking about the biggest amateur payout in disc golf history of $100,000 in cash and prizes will be given out at that event.
No problem. Got to go over some things with you guys. So, you guys are playing for a berth to the national championships. Okay, so the winner will go to the national championships. But, based on the points, I was looking at it, good chance a couple of you might go to the national championships. Okay?
All right, and there we see we have Richard, Eddie, Brandon, and Michael. This is the MA40 card, lead card, teeing off here on the final 9.
And Dave was just explaining to them exactly what was on the line here at this.
All right, welcome to the final 9 for the Advanced Masters. Yeah! Woo, woo. We have our non-playing official for the group is Donald Jenkins from Georgia. Okay. All right. At -8 for the weekend, 8 under par, playing out of Decatur, Tennessee. Let's have a warm welcome for your leader, Mr. Richard Van Manen.
Richard with the hot rounds for the weekend. I was actually on the first card with him. He was out there tearing it up at Braham Springs.
We have a lefty that's going to lead us off here.
At 3 under par. From Huntsville, Alabama, Mr. Eddie Cruz.
See what Eddie's got lined up. Hole 1 here is pretty wide open, as you can see. It is a bit of a bomber hole. It's a par 4. You want to try to get out to where that tree is on your left-hand side. It'll give you a good look. That's pretty ideal right there.
Teaming up next, it's a military serviceman. He's from Huntsville, Alabama. His family supported this tournament, and he supports your country, so you better give a big warm welcome at 1 under par for Mr. Brandon Cruz.
Yeah, there's one basket here that you can see off the camera that's not in play. It's underneath that tree out there to the right. It has a bag on it. But they're going to the longer of the two.
Brandon's actually put himself in good position for that shorter pin
sudden death playoff from Madison, Alabama. Nice place to live. Mr. Michael Stevenson.
It sounds like he said that came out a little bit early there.
Looks like it. There's no OB over there. There you can see that short position we're talking about.
But he did make it at least on the other side of the trees, which means that he will have some room to scramble.
Absolutely. And he is first to throw here. Going with the forehand line.
A little turned over.
There was some wind. Nothing too crazy on hole 1, thankfully. Brandon with a nice hyzer line here. Ooh. All right,
Heard it a little bit.
Yeah.
He was probably a little concerned from his vantage point of being OB because he can't see past that hill.
This is turned over. Yeah, that's
A lot, yeah.
it's not going to come back.
See what Eddie has.
Nice smooth form there.
And still a little meat on there for that putt.
I gotta find me first.
It's safe up there. As you saw, this is a little bit of a scary putt because that OB is looming behind. It's not as close as you would think, but it's close enough to get in your head.
And like, if you listen,
there's the wind.
You can hear the wind.
Yeah. And Eddie knows he got away with one there. How close he came to actually going OB there.
Yeah. You can just imagine the nerves after making that putt and it lifting up on you, trying to just mentally do something different to get it into the basket.
Nice putt there by Mr. Cruz.
See if Michael can clean this up. Michael does.
All right, just a couple of style points there for that tap out.
First we're doing it with the wrong hand and then just everything else.
Absolutely.
All right.
So we're going to catch up with that group a little later on. As you see the UAH emblems here. As you see, beautiful campus here at the University of Huntsville, Alabama. So Richard, Eddie, Brandon, and Michael, they're going to continue on their round. We're going to switch over now onto the advanced card. So we've got Kiefer, Clint, Hunter, and Zach. And there you see your scores that got them into this position in the final 9.
Okay. So as I told them, this is for a spot, guaranteed spot to the national championship. You will be offered a spot to come play in Austin, Texas, the biggest payout in amateur history. Okay? If you don't win the tournament, I did the math last night, and it looks like at least one more will automatically get in, because the Alabama State point leader will also get in. And this is 700 points, and the leader is at like 400. The other thing that you need to know is that your non-playing official is Levon Wolf. Levon Wolf will make all OB calls, all rule calls. You will make no rule calls during this round. Welcome again back to the final 9. This is the advanced division. These are the big dogs playing for, in their division alone in the national championships, just their division is $35,000 in cash. So it's nothing to mess around with. It's bigger than any purse I played this year. And open. So prepare yourself. We had a great battle. It's going to be a close match. Up first, he held on at Bronze Springs. He was the guy everybody looked to see play well. He answered with 21 under par in 2 rounds. He came out here and he held his ground, tied for the best score in the lead card. At 23 under par for the weekend. From Huntsville, Alabama, Mr. Kiefer McMillan.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Kiefer play before, you're going to see a lot of that.
Yes.
Nice. Team second, also from Huntsville, Alabama. Made a run yesterday with a 42 in the second round.
Yeah. Thank you.
2 off the lead at 21 under par. Welcome to the team, Mr. Clint Kimbrell.
And Clint going right up the wide open line on the right-hand side. Looking for that fade.
Great position.
Thanks.
All right, next to the tee with the hot score today of 54. Nobody else broke 60. 1,015 rated PDGA round. Playing out of Decatur, Alabama. You want to see some kid throw, keep your eyes on Hunter Rivers.
Let's see if Hunter can keep that hot streak going.
There you go, Hunter.
He's going big hyzer here. And they get fade on in.
Right, that's a good position as well.
Rounding out the
He's actually
group,
past that tree that you want to get
Florence,
past.
Alabama, also at 16 under par. He was the favorite coming in. He's been up at the top the whole weekend. The baskets haven't treated him that well, but I expect to see a big show out of Zach Rogers.
Zach going forehand off the tee. He's got that a little high, and that's fading towards the OB road, but it holds on.
One of the locals was telling me that they were surprised to see him throwing so many forehands because he is so proficient in backhands as well.
Really? He's got a booming forehand, so I can... Maybe he just wasn't feeling the backhand this weekend. Kiefer up over the top again with that overhand thumber. Wow.
Talk about aim and accuracy.
That's very impressive. Here's another forehand coming up here.
And that'll do too. So that's circle 2 putt. Not sure who that was. We didn't catch on camera coming in.
Hunter here looking for his upshot. Again, he got really far off the tee. At least for a much easier upshot, and he executes it quite well.
Oh, that was Clint's shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we missed. Oh,
Little low, little left.
could be camera jitters.
Hunter looking for that birdie.
And he gets it.
Dead center, great start. So as we've noted, this is the final 9, so it's not like a normal round where you have 18 holes to kind of make up. You need to get off to as hot a start as you can and really just put the pressure on from the beginning. Ooh, I tried to sneak through the back there.
Thank you. Clint tapping in his birdie.
So 3 birdies on that hole. Very nicely done by the group there. Zach picking up the only par.
All right, hole number 2 is playing opposite of hole 1's fairway, with there being one major difference, and that's going to be going over the road. They're not playing to the basket that you see there in the frame. There's another basket, the practice basket, that is
Basically on an island or peninsula, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's back there where the players are in that frame, in that shot.
It's basically where Tournament Central was during this day. Hunter gets a hold of that one. Starting to fade on back. That's a booming shot there for Hunter. Zach again going forehand off the tee.
It turned over a little bit on them, and it's
Starting to come
come
out.
back, and it
He
looks
is
safe.
Yeah. So he's flirted with that OB both times here in the first 2 holes, and that's... Levon Wolf actually called a foot fault on Kiefer there. He stepped to the left of his disc, so he's going to get a stroke penalty. It's not going to matter really because he's parked this hole, so he's going to walk away with a par. But that could have been a birdie there. And as Dave mentioned, Levon is making all of the calls during this round. It's kind of hard to argue with a Hall of Famer.
So Clint gets onto the all-in, but he's on the far left side of it.
Look at how far up Hunter got off of his drive. He's got an easy approach here with a hyzer. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
And those flags that you see around that practice basket were for the putting competition, so they're not marking anything like OB or Circle 1 or anything of that nature. Zach again flirting with the OB there. It's good up there for Clint. Hunter looking for the birdie to continue to kind of put some pressure on here.
And he gets it.
Got it. 2 for 2 to start. Zach with the birdie as well. Clint cleans up the par. And Kiefer's going to have that drop in for what's going to be a par because of the stroke penalty on the footfall.
That was still a very impressive second shot there.
Absolutely. So there you see Kiefer holding on to that lead. Clint coming for him now.
So our third hole is hole number 6 at UAH course.
This is turned over, and that's a smash.
It's really far, but just off point from where the basket is.
Yeah, you want something that's going to hyzer towards the end of this tree line that you see on the left-hand side. It starts to turn into the left. That's where you want to be. It's surprising to see a forehand approach to this shot.
Well, if you're playing for par.
Yeah, it's a position play. He gets to the mouth of the opening where you want to be.
Yep.
Kiefer again going overhand.
And he's just getting it out to the field where he has room to work.
And Clint going with the hyzer. This is the more traditional approach, although this is kind of getting a little far off as well before it starts to come back.
Now, ideally, you want to be as close to the tree line without being obstructed as possible because it does open up at the end there. There's a slight turn. It's hard to see on camera, but it's a slight turn at the very end of the tree line to get to the basket.
There's a couple of guardian trees also when you're approaching the screen that can present a problem. And Kiefer works that past that last guardian, so he's going to be circle's edge probably?
Yep. Clint's going to forehand here.
Trying to keep it low. Gets past the last guardian. Skips. That's a great shot there.
Yes.
So you can see Hunter's now got to deal with multiple guardian trees. He tries to skip under it, but just that was just a tough line to try to hit. And Zach with the nice approach as well. So that forehand plan worked out for him. And Hunter, there's an OB creek right behind the green there, and I think he's found the OB.
See some ripples in the water.
Yes, he went OB into that creek. Able to limit the damage there, but the hot start he got off to just kind of got a little derailed there with that OB.
Kiefer there with the putt.
Keeps on rolling, taking the 3 on this hole.
All good. Good putt.
Another 3, and Clint will drop that in for his.
Clint hamming it up for the cameras and the fans there. But very nicely played there overall. Hunter with the unfortunate OB kind of cost him. Alright, hole 7. There is a creek running pretty much right up the middle here. So you've got 2 different fairways you can try to take. The creek does play as OB if you're surrounded by water.
And that tree that you see there is a mando. You have to go to the right of that tree. That's right there in front of the basket.
Kiefer again going overhand here and playing for position that's safe. He'll have a good angle there of attack for that second shot.
Clint also playing this safe with the forehand.
Let's see what Hunter's got in mind here. That's a big hyzer, but it's kind of stalling. It needs to get left.
And it barely does.
Oh wow.
It's just there on the
So
right.
that is safe because he's not surrounded by water. He's in that creek bed, but he is still safe. So there's a Mando, like we said, you gotta stay to the right of this tree when approaching. Clint plays it beautifully.
It's right up to the bottom.
This is a little tricky here for an overhand. Let's see how Kiefer's gonna maneuver this disc around. Clip some cabbage,
And
but he's parked. Very nice touch. And Zach going on the other side of the creek, but still manages to get around the Mando. And he's in position for a 3 as well. Hunter. Jump putt up. It looks like all these guys are going to be able to tap into 3. Clint giggling as he said he tried to fake me out. With the pump fake. So very nicely played by these guys. You see 3s all around. So Clint's still pushing here. He's trying to give Kiefer some heat from the chase there.
Hole 12 is playing as our 5th hole. And again, this is all about placement. It's a par 4. It's a blind shot. You can't really see the the basket from the tee. So you just know you need to get it out there to have a second shot.
Yeah, there's some OB that'll come into play here on the left-hand side. Obviously, the road is going to be OB. There is a ditch that comes into play also later on the hole, which can be a big factor.
Luckily, it's not playing OB because it is dry, so it's not going to be anything surrounded by water. But normally, if there was anything in there, that would be considered possibly OB if it was.
And Hunter almost gets that down to the tee pad for hole 6. Kiefer with his second here. I think most of these guys are really just kind of playing this for that par 4. Clint getting this out a little wide, and that's flirting with that creek area. And I think he's in it. There was some wind also that started to kind of pick up on this hole, a little bit of a headwind. Zach, this is flirting with it also.
Yep.
And that's going to be in there. Hunter throwing a force here on this upshot. That's flattened out and panning left. That's got to come back.
Just does not get back over.
So that's going to be another OB stroke there for Hunter. Kiefer's got this here for his birdie.
I think he was really just laying up for that.
Yeah, and there you see.
It's so close to the cliff that even a tap off the cage could lead to a uphill circle 2 putt.
Whoa, Hunter looks like he was giving that a run.
I think he was.
It could, oh, whoa.
Tickle the chains.
Great run there. Just showered.
At least it fell straight down.
Kiefer here looking for the par.
And there it is.
Nicely played. I think this is just one of those risk-reward holes where it's just not worth trying to run it for that 3. There's just so much danger around this basket.
Yeah.
So you see Kiefer still holding on here. So hole 13, there is a Mando pretty much right off the tee. But you're trying to make this turn to the right-hand side, a forehand dominant hole. There is a little bit of a peninsula of concrete or asphalt, which, if you land on it, is also OB. So you want to get this wide enough to avoid that area at the end of this tree line. Kiefer, ooh, taking a little bit of a bad roll.
Not too bad. It's still in the open, so
Yeah, it's still just a putter-up shot.
He just rolled away from the desired location. Then actually takes that a little wide, and
There's that peninsula there that you see in the background, just behind his disc.
he just made it. Hunter with a forehand.
Going really high. And he makes it past also that area, so he is in position for... He'll have a jump putt up if he wants to run that too. Kiefer lining up a rare backhand.
And it ended up being a great up.
He should have a pretty stress-free par, excuse me.
Laying up as well, but leaving a little bit on the bone there.
Probably not what he was looking for. Under the long jumper.
Yeah, he was definitely running that.
Zach here, he's eyeing this one up. Good height.
Oh, right off the front of the cage.
Well, he knows Zach is towards the bottom, or was at the bottom of the card coming in, so he's forcing the issue and trying to run everything he can on these holes. Because like we said, there's only 9 holes left to try to make your way into that final in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, really in his position, there's nothing to lose.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you're getting 4th place.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what his point standings were, but like Dave was saying, there's points. The points leader for the state also gets to go, so he could be securing his spot that way as well.
one thing to note, which we didn't mention yet, it was a blistering hot day also. And these guys have already played a full round. Now we're doing the back 9 here, so yeah, heat and fatigue could be a factor as well.
And the wind did not let up. It was prevalent when we were playing, and it's still out there now.
That was an excellent shot there by Zach. Kiefer puts it right by the basket
And gets a roll, and that's not coming back. That curve is not going to let it come back.
That's unfortunate, and
Yeah.
it's late in the round. Clint's got a little bit of an opening here.
It's kind of what you don't want when you have the overhand game. You kind of hope to have them sit and land and sit, but rollaways happen with all shots.
It's a nice shot there by Clint. Hunter is going to be a little bit obstructed, I think, by that
Yeah,
tree.
a little short as well.
So he's got a straddle look. It looks like he's trying to figure out which is the best angle to attack this from. So on a knee here. He'll be right behind the basket.
Falling
Whoa.
putt and puts it in.
Clips some leaves coming out.
And still puts it on the pole. That is very impressive.
Centered it
Very
from a
impressive.
knee. Very nicely done. Clint looking to gain a stroke here at least. And he will do that. Nicely done. Yvonne marking the lie there for Kiefer where he went out. So he needs this for the 3. And to only lose a stroke. Puts it in. That can be a little bit of a pressure putt. It was a pretty close putt, but you don't want to lose more than a stroke on this hole. So a couple of birdies and a par there. Kiefer loses one to Clint. And we've got a race on our hands.
They are playing to the second of the 2 baskets that you see. That one did not have a chance.
No, that is OB. They will proceed to a drop zone if you go into the water. There's also OB on the left, which is the road, and that is found OB. So this is a very specific and tight landing area.
Actually, the sidewalk is actually OB.
Oh, that's right. The sidewalk on the left there is OB. This looks way wide.
That was far.
Yeah, that was past the pin. But it is OB as well, in the water. So 3 for 3 have gone OB. Kiefer here, he needs to get this in bounds. He knows Clint has gone OB, so here's an opening to kind of get one back. Flirting with it.
He flirts with it, but
it sits. That time it sits. So here's the drop zone, and the drop zone's about 300 feet. I know because I went OB my first my round over here, and I threw a destroyer and thankfully saved a couple of strokes. This is a little bit short of where you want to be.
Yeah. But it's kind of nerve-wracking to actually push where the pin is and push the green from there, especially if you just already gone out of bounds.
Kiefer again with the backhand. And wow, that's very nicely done. He's going to have a drop-in birdie. Clint, a little shy, and it's no.
Is it?
No way.
Oh.
Just held on. That sidewalk is not OB
correct.
On that side.
Yes.
But that was steaming towards the water.
Yeah.
Jumper. No good there. So Kiefer is going to pad that lead.
Zach not even messing with it.
Yeah, that's a smart play.
Yeah, let's see what Hunter does.
Takes the jumper at it, settles right by it. So some awkward stance there for Clint. Everybody kind of taps out here. And a drop-in birdie for Kiefer. So there you see, he's opened up that lead once more. So into this final stretch.
All right, we're going to cut back over to the MA40 card and follow them as they finish up their final 9. This is going to be their hole 18. It's going to be the final hole for the final 9. And this hole adds a little bit of character with these grouping of trees being marked as OB.
And that is OB.
That is where that landed.
Yeah, it's basically an island in the middle there of the fairway. There is also a Mando on one of the trees on the far left, which you must go right of. And that's to protect hole 6, I believe, so you don't want to throw into that teeing area. Nice layup there, and that's really the decision you have to make, is whether or not you're going to lay up to that island or if you're going to try to push through it.
Yeah.
Eddie looks like he's trying to push through it.
And he
Finds it.
does.
He's made it through the other side.
Now there's an advantage to being on the other side, is not having to deal with the low ceiling. You have to deal with it off the tee if you're trying to make it, but from this side it is extremely difficult to get up to the green area, having to deal with that.
Wow, that's where it would be there.
Having to deal with that low ceiling so early on.
Yeah, I can definitely knock down your approach shots, as you can see right here. He's got to go around now with a hyzer and have it work its way back over. Man, these guys are flirting with OB. But that's a great shot. He's in position there. Mr. Cruz here, he's got, you can see the tight window, low ceiling. This is not an easy shot by any means. And there's also wind, a little bit of wind happening also at this time, so he burns that one out. Eddie with a nice touch approach here.
Yep.
And there's the reward you get, like you said, for getting past that OB island. Brandon lays up there. Should be an easy tap in for him. Michael with a little bit of a knee knocker here in an elevated basket. Boom. And there you see the rocket on the basket there. This is there's, what is it, a rocket museum that's right by here?
It's a rocket museum, and then the school is also part of the rocket program for NASA, I believe. Ooh. Sorry, I was talking during this putt.
Brandon trying to finish this out. Very nicely done.
Yep. Hey, that was a pure putter. I like that.
Eddie trying to pick up this birdie here. Oh no.
So it goes both ways, bogey band and cage. Unless you're shooting 3-pointers.
Well, Mr. McMillan taking home the MA40. So for Richard winning out. I totally butchered his last name there. I just realized that. Sorry about that, Richard. So back to the MA1 card. Smart play there by Kiefer. He knows he's just got to get up and down here, and he's going to punch his ticket to Austin, Texas for that final. Zach has turned this over, and he's bringing that Mando into play.
Yeah. And luckily it did not go OB.
It's been blowing left and right this whole time.
So Hunter is thinking about a roller here. Gets it on the cut angle, starts to stand up.
Yes, that wind.
But that just, yeah, it just pushed it straight.
Yep.
He had it on the right cut angle, but that wind just stood it up. This looks too high to get through unless he's laying up.
He has to be laying up.
Well, he is now.
Yeah. I believe that right there is the end of the OB and right in between the Mando.
And Levon there telling him that he has not crossed the Mando, so he has to play back towards it, which he does there. Kiefer again with a rare backhand here. This stands up.
And
I believe that went OB. I think he went on the road there. And Zach got kind of kicked down a little early. This needs to skip a little bit.
yeah, it's about the best you can do with that ceiling. That ceiling is so low.
So Hunter playing back in. He's taking his meter of relief.
Whoa!
Whoa!
And he was trying to ring that up for sure. Kiefer actually did not go OB.
Oh, okay. Just settled in.
You got that guy? Nice, man.
That's a little pitch.
That's a dunker for him. for Zach. Clint said he was going to run this. Let's see if he does. Oh, to the bitter end. He's not going down without a fight. Very nicely done.
Zach cleaning up his final 9.
And over his tap in, and Kiefer McMillan. There it is.
HG Premier from Huntsville Alabama champion, Kiefer McMillan.
Well, Kiefer punches his ticket to Austin, Texas. Clint giving him one hell of a run in that second position.
Hunter was trying to go on a tear, but those OBs really got to him.
So that is our coverage of the Southeast Regional Qualifier from Huntsville, Alabama.
UAH campus.
Next stop for us will be the Next Gen finale in Austin, Texas, the weekend of November 8th through the 10th. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. We will have action coming to you from that tournament. We are Ace Run Productions. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's get excited for some disc golf.